Good afternoon. The next topic in our syllabus is generating functions. So what does generating function means? A generating function is usually used to represent an infinite sequence. So suppose if we have infinite sequence of numbers given either by using some formula or randomly, then we can use generating functions to represent this infinite sequence by using the sigma notation, or we can also represent this in the polynomial form. Basically, what we do is, the reason we use generating functions for these kind of sequences is we can perform many operations which can be carried out, which cannot be carried out generally on such sequences, but we can carry that out on generating functions. Okay, so suppose if we have the sequence a0 is given as 1, a1 is 3, then a2 is 3, a3 is 4, and this way after that a4 is again 4, a5 is 7, and so on. This continues. There is no any order to such sequence, but we are seeing that it is an infinite sequence till a infinity. Then what we do is we write it in the form of generating function so that we can perform operations such as addition, multiplication, even integration and differentiation can be performed. So this makes generating functions a powerful technique to solve such infinite sequences. So generating functions are basically used to represent sequences efficiently. So that is the basic purpose of generating functions. So they are used to represent sequences efficiently by coding the terms of a sequence as coefficients of powers of a variable x. So this x is very important in a formal power series. Now what does this mean? Suppose if we have generating functions, if we can use it to solve many counting problems, such as the number of ways to select or distribute objects of different kinds, which are not usually solved by permutations or combinations. And suppose if we have a lot of constraints, so in permutation and combinations we were used to having one constraint, that is we can either select a different object of one kind, or in such a way we have already seen the examples. But in the case of generating functions, we can have a lot of constraints. Also, generating functions can be used to solve the recurrence relation. That is, we translate a recurrence relation into an equation which can be written as a generating function, and then this equation can then be solved to find the formula, a direct formula, which we will see later actually. Now, generating functions are also a helpful tool for studying many properties of our sequences beside what we will be seeing in our theory. So we begin with the definition of our generating functions. Suppose we have the terms, this is actually not a0, this will be a0, a1, subscript, a1, a2, a3, and so on up to ak and up to infinity of real numbers. So we have an infinite sequence of real numbers. Then the generating function g of x, it is denoted by capital G of x, of our series. If s is the series, suppose we have the series as s, then for that generating function will be written as g of x is equal to a0 into, I will write it over here so that it is understood, a0 into, what is the subscript of a0? It is 0. So we will write x power 0 plus a1 into x power 1. So I hope you understand that whatever is the subscript of this, I am taking it as the exponent of our x, the power of x. So as I have given over here, the sequence has coefficients of those powers. If this is the coefficient a0, I am taking the power x power 0. If the coefficient is a1, I am taking the power x1, and a2 x square plus and so on up to, if the coefficient is k, we will take x power k and up to infinity. Now this can be written as in the sigma notation as, if we take k is equal to 0 to infinity, ak into x power k. Okay, so this is the simplest definition of generating function. So if you remember in our earlier slide, I have given you this a0, a1 values. So what the generating function g of x for this notations will be a0 is 1, so a0 into x power 0 plus a1 into x power 1, a2 x square, a3 x cube, a4 x power 4 plus a5 x power 5 plus and so on. So this can be written as 1 into x power 0 plus 3 into x power 1 plus 3 into x square plus 4 into x cube plus 4 into x power 4 plus 7 into x power 5 and so on. So this is the generating function for the example that we have taken. So this is one of the simplest example, and I hope you have understood the concept, because based on this concept we have 4 to 5 different subtopics. Now, so the examples of generating function which we can take are, suppose if we have the generating function for the sequence is written as ak, and ak is defined as the set is our ak, and ak is defined as 3. That means a0 is 3, a1 is 3, a2 is 3 and so on. Then what will be the generating function for this? The generating function for our formula for our sequence will be, generating function g of x is given as k is equal to 0 to infinity 3 into x power k, or else we can even write it as 3 into x power 0 plus 3 into x power 1 plus 3 into x square and so on up to infinity. Now so this is our first problem, ak, where ak is equal to 3. Second problem, I am taking it as ak is equal to k plus 1. Okay, so if ak is k plus 1, so what will be a0? a0 will be 0 plus 1, 1. a1 will be 1 plus 1, 2. a2 will be 3. So, and this will continue till infinity. If we want to write the generating function, we can write it as 1 into x power 0. Now I am writing it directly. I am not writing again the entire a0 x power 0 and so on. So I hope you understand. 2 power into x power 1 plus 3 into x square, and this will continue till infinity. Or else we can even write it in the sigma notation as k is equal to 0 to infinity k plus 1 into x power k. 1 into x power 0. This way you can even give the notation. Now the next third example is ak is equal to 2 power k. So if ak is 2 power k, a0 will be 2 power 0, a1 is 2 power 1, a2 is 2 square, a3 is 2 cube and so on. Now based on this, we will have the notation as 2 naught into x power 0, which will be 1 anyway, so I am not writing it. 2 power 1 into x power 1, 2 square into x square, 2 cube into x cube and so on. So this can be written as 2 power 0 is 1 plus 2x plus 4x square plus 8x cube, and you understand the problem. Or even we can write it in sigma notation as k is equal to 0 to infinity 2 power k into x power k. What are we doing basically? To this ek, we are adding the sigma k is equal to 0 to infinity and multiplying it with x power k. That's it. Now we can define this generating function sequences of real numbers by extending a finite sequence also. So suppose we have, instead of infinite sequence, we have a finite sequence, a1, a2 and so on up to an. Then what can we write the generating function as? a1 into x power 1, a1 into, okay, actually we have to start with a0, okay. So in that case, a0 into x power 0 plus a1 into x power 1 plus and so on up to, where will our x power n? It will end at x power n, an into x power n. Now, what is the generating function for the sequence? The next question or example is, what is the generating function for the sequence 1 1 1 6 times? Okay. Now for this, generating function will be, first term should be multiplied with x power 0, or I'll write it over here. This is a0, a1, a2, a3, a4 and a5. Now for this, we will be multiplying a0 with x power 0, and solution can be written as 1 into x power 0 plus 1 into x power 1, 1 into x square, 1 into x cube, this way for all the 6 terms. So this can be written as 1 plus x square plus x cube plus x power 4 plus x power 5. And this actually can be shortened in this way, which is x power 6 minus 1, minus should be over here, x power 6 minus 1 by x minus 1. Okay, this actually we will see it is as a formula. So by now this is the solution, we don't need this part. So this is the solution for our problem. Now the next thing is, suppose if we have a1, a0, a1 up to n, then we have already seen. Also the one that I have already written here, this can be written as, I am doing it for this. So again I am taking this one. So 1 plus a1x plus a2x square plus and so on up to an x power n. Now instead of this, what can I write it as? I can write it as k is equal to 0 to infinity ak x power k. Okay. Now I am taking this and solving it in the next page. What did I write? I wrote k is equal to 0 to infinity ak x power k. Now I am saying that this ak value, ak are basically are constants, they are real numbers. So ak is equivalent to c of, since I took over here an, I am saying this is equivalent to nck, or basically the combination ncr. What is ncr? N factorial by n minus r factorial into r factorial. So this is equal to nck. So if instead of ak I want to write nck, so let me just write it, k is equal to 0 to infinity nck into x power k. Now if I expand it, it will be nc naught x power 0 plus nc1 x power 1 nc2 x square and so on up to ncn. Here instead of infinity I need to have n. So k is equal to 0 to n, because we have how many terms? We had only n terms, so that is why we need to have over here n. Okay. So nc n x power n. Now if I change this nc naught, it will be 1 plus nc1 into x power 1 plus nc2 into x square, and ncn is also 1, so x power n. This can be written actually as 1 plus x power n, binomial theorem. This is the binomial. Next topic is theorems of generating functions. So when generating functions are used to solve counting problems, we usually call it formal power series. So formal power series is the same concept of generating functions, but whenever we use this concept to solve counting problems, then it is known as a formal power series. Now, based on this, we have a few theorems of generating functions, and the reason we are seeing the theorems are some results can be directly used as formulas. So that is the reason we will see a few theorems. So first and foremost, suppose if we have two series f of x and g of x, and f of x is a naught x power 0, a1 x power 1, and so on, a naught x power 0. So it is simply a naught. So let me do that. A naught plus a1x plus a2x square plus and so on up to infinity, and g of x is b naught plus b1x plus b2x square plus and so on up to infinity. Then what will be f of x plus g of x? F of x plus g of x will be, we will add the coefficients which have the same power. So a naught plus b naught, we will add that. Then later we will add a1 plus b1 into x. So whatever are the same coefficients, we will just add that. So a naught and b naught is added. Then we will add a1x and b1x. Then we will add a2x square plus b2x square. Similar coefficients are added as you already know when you have studied mathematics. So now here f of x plus g of x is k is equal to 0 to infinity ak plus bk x power k. In terms of k, if I want to write it in sigma notation, summation form, then it will be ak plus bk x power k. Similarly, what will be f of x into g of x? We will multiply, we will have double summation. So the double summation will be this way, a naught will be multiplied with all the terms, a1x will be multiplied with all the terms, and this will go on. So here k is equal to 0 to infinity, j is equal to 0 to k, we will keep on multiplying. So aj bk minus j x power k. Okay, so these two actually you study it in mathematics, how you multiply if we have infinite series. Now based on this, we have a few problems. Let's see the problems. So suppose, and rather than a problem, this is a formula which we will see as a problem. So suppose if we have a function or a generating function of the sequence, what will be the generating function of this sequence? 1, 1, 1, and so on up to infinity. So if we already remember, we write the generating function in this way. For this, we will take 1 into x power 0 plus 1 into x, 1 into x square, x cube, and so on up to infinity. And then this 1 plus x square plus x cube, and this entire function can be written actually as 1 by 1 minus x. This you have already studied, I believe, in differentiation. 1 by 1 minus x is defined as 1 plus x square plus x cube, and so on. Where your modulus of x is less than 1. So generating function for the sequence 1 all ones till infinity is 1 plus x square plus x cube, and which will give us the value 1 by 1 minus x. Similarly, generating function for 1, a square, a cube, a power 4 will be given as 1, a will be multiplied with x, 1 plus ax plus a square x square plus a cube x cube plus a power 4 x power 4, and so on up to infinity. And this is given as 1 by 1 minus ax. For all, whenever ax is, modulus of ax is less than 1, or we can even say that mod x should be less than 1 minus 1 by a, where a should not be equal to 0. Now, why do we need these results? Actually, these results, whenever we want to use generating functions to solve recurrence relations, these results are important. Now, after that, we have another problem, which is, let f of x is equal to 1 by 1 minus x whole square, and for this 1 by 1 minus x whole square, The expansion will be in the terms f of x is equal to k is equal to 0 to infinity a kx power k. Now I want to find the coefficients. What are the coefficients ak? What are the values of the coefficients ak? So ak here will be a0, a1, a2 and so on. Okay. Now for this, solution can be written as follows. So over here, we know that 1 by 1 minus x is equal to 1 plus x square plus x cube and so on up to infinity. Now what will be 1 minus x square? 1 by 1 minus x square. It will be written as k is equal to 0 to infinity. We are using the theorem which I have written, which I have shown you earlier. If we take f of x as 1 minus x, and g of x as also 1 minus x, then f of x into g of x will be given as k is equal to 0 to infinity, g is equal to 0 to k, aj bk minus j into x power k. So this can be written as k is equal to 0 to infinity, j is equal to 0 to k. What is the coefficient of a? What are the coefficients a and b of these series? Both are 1. So we will be writing 1 into x power k. Now when we expand the summation, j is equal to 0 to k, there is no value being added, but over here we will write 1 plus, each time we will add k, so this can be written as actually k plus 1 into x power k. Okay, so this is written as k plus 1 into x power k. Even if you try to do it manually by taking a few terms, then you will get the same. So x power 0 will have the coefficient 1, x will have the coefficient 2, 2x and so on. So in this way, we can solve this problem. And always whenever you are writing the, or whenever you are solving the problems of discrete mathematics, whichever kind of formula or concept you are using, please mention it on the left hand side or right hand side. Just mention it in a box or mention it in such a way that the person evaluating your paper should be able to understand what kind of concept you are using. Now the next thing is, I have already told the concept of binomial theorem. So now we will be seeing the concept of extended binomial theorem. First, let's see it on the slide. So these are the two problems which we have already solved. 1 by 1 minus x, for that sequence it is 1 plus x square plus x cube and so on. And what are the coefficients? The coefficient will be k is equal to 0 to infinity x power k into k is equal to 0 to infinity x power k. So the coefficient is simply 1. From j is equal to 0 to k, we will have the summation in the following way. That is k is equal to 0 to infinity k plus 1 into x power k. So we will add from 0 to k terms plus this 1. Okay. So we will take 0 plus 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus and so on up to k. Okay. So this will be written as k into k plus 1. So this is k plus 1 into x power k. Okay. Now the next thing is, binomial coefficients are something which we have already seen in the earlier chapter. So the binomial coefficient is given as NCR, where for the formula x plus y whole power n, where NCR is given as n factorial by n minus r factorial into r factorial. So binomial coefficients occur as coefficients in the expansion of either x plus y or a plus b, whichever you want to consider. Now, whenever we are considering binomial theorem, x comma y are variables and this n is a non-negative integer. That means it is a either 0 or it is a positive integer, then in that case we expand it in the following way. Sigma r is equal to 0 to n ncr into x power r into x power n minus r into y power r. Okay, so this is the way we expand it. So here this is something which you have already studied, binomial coefficients and theorem. But if in case this value, instead of being a positive non-negative integer, what if it is a real number? Now in that case we have a formula given with the help of generating function. So let's see that this problem can be solved by you. X plus y power 4 coefficient of x power 12 y power 13. So please solve it on your own. I'll directly proceed to extended binomial theorem. Yeah, this is a theorem actually. Whenever n is a non-negative integer, k is equal to 0 to n. Let me write it clearly over here. K is equal to 0 to n. nck is equal to 2 power n. Whenever we add the coefficients of NCR, it will always be in the powers of 2. So this is a theorem and a proof which is very, very important. So this proof is directly given. Let me just explain it. Suppose, note that we know already 2ncn, it is the coefficient of x power n in 1 plus x 2 power n. Now what does this mean? If we are finding suppose 1 plus x 2 power n, then what is the coefficient of x power n? We will write it as sigma r is equal to 0 to 2n ncr x power n minus r y power r. What is the coefficient of, whenever r value is equal to n, then we will have 2ncn into x power 2n minus n, whenever r value is equal to n. So in this case the coefficient is 2ncn. Now suppose we know the coefficient. Why are we finding this 1 plus x 2 power n? Okay, let me do it on the board over here. So let me write it again. Use generating function. We are using generating function to show sigma k is equal to 0 to n nck whole square is equal to 2ncn whenever n is a positive integer. Now for this solution, what we are supposed to do is, we know what is the coefficient, so we are taking this side and we are saying that for 2ncn, this is the binomial coefficient of what? It is the binomial coefficient of x power n. In which kind of formula? In the formula 1 plus x whole power 2n. Okay, so in this case, 1 plus x 2 power n, the binomial coefficient is 2ncn. For which term? For the x power nth term. Now, for this term, what we can do is 1 plus x power 2n can be written as 1 plus x power n whole square. Correct? This is 1 plus x power n whole square. Now, how should we expand this? This is our normal binomial formula. So, this is nc naught plus nc1 into x plus nc2 into x square plus and so on up to ncn x power n whole square. Now, what is the coefficient of x power n in this expression? The coefficient of x power n will be, so we have to write this 2 times, okay, because it is squares. So let's write it twice so that it is understandable. NC naught plus NC1 into x plus NC2 into x square plus and so on up to NCn into x power n. Again, the same thing because we have a square. NC0 plus NC1x plus NC2x square plus and so on up to NCn x power n. Now, what do we want? We want the coefficient of x power n. What is the coefficient of x power n? The coefficient of x power n will be given as NC0 if we multiply it with NCn. Okay. What is the exponent for x or the power of x? It is x power n. Similarly, NC1 if we multiply it with NCn minus 1. Okay, it will be x power n minus 1 and here we will have x power 1. So it will again be x power n. So the coefficient of that will be NC0 into NCn plus NC1 into NCn minus 1 plus NC2 into NCn minus 2 plus and so on. Again, the first term will be the last term, the second term will be the second last term and so on. So NCn plus into NC0. I'm not sorry, it's not plus, it is n into. NCn into NC0. Why are we getting this term? Because NCn of first bracket will be multiplied with NC0 of the second bracket. Again, it will have the power x power n. Okay. So now, what is the coefficient of 1 plus x power 2n? It will be, here we will have nck power whole square, k is equal to 0 to n. And if you notice, this is again equal to, this equals k is equal to 0 to n nck whole square. Why? Because so k is equal to 0 to n nck whole square. Why is it equal? Because NCn minus r is equal to NCr. Okay. Also, both 2NCn and k is equal to 0 to n nck whole square represent the coefficient of, they both are representing the coefficient of x power n nck whole square. These two are representing the coefficient of x power n in our 1 plus x whole power 2n. Okay. So that is the reason these two are equal. What is nck whole square? It is the coefficient of 1 plus x whole square power n, or n 1 plus x whole power n whole square. So whenever we want the coefficient of x power n, what will it be? Here n and here is 2. Then it will be nck or ncr. Okay, ncr. Now, why do we want 2ncn is also the same thing. So, this proves your theorem first, and this is very, very important. So, let me just explain it again on the slide. So, over here, 2 power n is basically 1 plus 1 whole power n, and k is equal to 0 to n, nck can be written as 1 power k into 1 power n minus k. So basically these two terms, here we are, instead of taking x, we are taking 1 only to explain it in a simpler way. Okay. Similarly, if k is equal to 0 to n, if we have minus 1 power k into nck, it will be equal to 0. Why are we saying that? Suppose if we have 1 minus x square, then what is the coefficient? It will be 1 minus 2x plus x square. This is the formula. Now if we add the coefficients, The coefficients of this is 1, -2 and then 1. This is equal to 0. So whenever we have the formula in such a way that we have -1 power k into nck, even if you remember your Pascal's theorem starts in this way: 1 1 1 1 2 1 1 3 3 1 and then 1 4 6 4 1. Now if you take one of them as a positive, one of them as negative, then this is 1, this will be -1, it is equal to 0. This is the coefficient of 1 minus x squared, this row. Okay, 1 plus x nc naught, this is your 2c naught, 2c1 and then 2c2. So if you take here minus sign for the 2, so 1 plus 1 is 2 and then -2 again. In this case, this will be the coefficient of 1 minus x, 1 plus, but since we are considering the minus sign, so for this it will be 1 minus x whole cube, which will be 1 minus 3x plus 3x square minus x cube. So again minus cancel and all the terms will be cancelled. So basically, whenever we have a negative sign in our formula of 1 plus x whole power n, where x is negative, then your coefficients are the summation of all your coefficients will be 0. Then the binomial theorem for k is equal to 0 to n. If we are multiplying it with 2 power k nck, then it is equivalent to 3 power n. This is just a corollary, that is, if you do a problem, you will get the following result in such a way. Now the next thing is extended binomial coefficients. For extended binomial coefficients, suppose instead of the power being positive, we have the power being negative. So to use generating functions to solve our counting problems, we need binomial theorem. So binomial theorem we already have for positive integers, for exponents which are positive. But what about exponents which are not positive? So for that we have this extended binomial theorem. So what do you mean by extended binomial coefficients? First we will see that. Suppose u is a real number and k is a non-negative integer, that is it can be 0 or positive. Then the extended binomial coefficient is defined as uck. Okay. If k is greater than 0, it will be u into u minus 1 into u minus, it will go on up to u minus k plus 1 by k factorial if k is greater than 0. If k is equal to 0, then your extended binomial coefficient will be 1. So suppose if we have example minus 2c3. What is minus 2c3? We will write, what is our u? U is minus 2. Let's just mention it over here. U is minus 2 and k is 3. So you will write minus 2 minus 1. Okay. And then minus 2 minus u minus of k plus 1. Okay. So minus 2 minus 3 plus 1 by k factorial. So k factorial is 3 factorial. So let's just evaluate it. This becomes minus 2. Minus 2 minus 1 will be minus 3. And then minus 2 minus 3 minus 5 plus 1 is minus 4 by 3 factorial. Whatever you can solve it on a calculator or by yourself. But now the question is, till where should we write this u terms? U terms should be written till we get the next term. Suppose if we have 3 over here, we should be getting over here 4 but with negative sign. Let's see for this 0.5 or half. So let's do it over here. So 1 by 2 C3. So 1 by 2 u value is 1 by 2 and k value is 3. Then if we are using the formula, it will be u minus 1 into u minus k plus 1 by k factorial. So what is our u? U is 1 by 2. 1 by 2 minus 1, 1 by 2 minus whatever the value of k is, this minus of k plus 1 means minus of 3 plus 1. What is minus of 3 plus 1? Minus 2. So you should continue this till minus 2. If suppose if we have 1 by 2 c4, so you will continue till minus of 4 plus 1 till minus 3. Okay, so that is the way you are supposed to look at this formula. You should consider this k plus 1 as one term. So minus of k plus 1 will be minus 3 plus 1, which will be equal to minus 2. Okay, so 1 by 2 minus 1 will be minus 1 by 2 into 1 by 2 minus 2 will be minus 3 by 2 by 6. So please calculate it and whatever result will be a solution. But the usage of the formula is important. Suppose our extended binomial theorem, let x be a real number with mod x less than 1 and let u be a real number, then 1 plus x whole power u is given as k is equal to 0 to infinity uck into x power k. So this we have already seen the formula for k is greater than 0 and for k greater than 0 and for k equal to 1. Now we just have to use the summation for the coefficient of x power k. Okay, so this is the extended binomial theorem, and by using this you can even find coefficient for different problems. As an exercise, please try to find the 1 plus x whole power minus n coefficient. Directly you just need the coefficient and 1 minus x whole power minus n. This can be done as an exercise, and I will continue the next topic in the next class.